Hello everyone. In this session, we'll be talking about the level of detail in Tableau, which is also known by the name LOD. In Tableau, the concept of level of detail is a powerful technique that allows you to control the granularity of your data for more flexible and precise analysis. With LOD expressions, you can perform the first calculations at different levels of detail within the same visualization. First, we will be talking about the level of details expression. Level of details expressions are a unique feature in Tableau that enables the user to compute the values at varying levels of details in dataset. This flexibility is especially useful when you are dealing with the complex data or when you need to perform the calculations that do not conform to find the default aggregation of your visualization. If we talk a bit more about the different expressions that are present in this level of detail, the first one is the fixed expression. Fixed LOD expressions allow you to fix a certain dimension in the calculation, making the immune to change the visualization context. The calculation remains constant regardless of the filters or the dimensions which have been selected. Then we have the include option. The include LOD expression includes the specified dimensions in the calculations, which makes them an integral part of the calculation context. These dimensions will affect the outcome of the calculation. Then we have the exclude LOD. Exclude LOD expressions exclude the specific dimensions from the calculations, which allows you to perform the different calculations without considering certain dimensions. So, what is the use case of this LOD? If we talk about the use case, these are particularly valuable when dealing with scenarios where you need to perform the calculation that involves different level of details. Common use case includes the segmenting data, creating subtotals, or calculating the percentages based on different dimensions. With the help of these level of details, you can try to enhance visualization. You can create more dynamic and insightful visualizations. For instance, you can display the subcategory level data along with the category level data, even when the visualization is aggregated at the category level. And we can also perform some complex calculations. If we talk about the complex calculations, LOD is very helpful in which it can simply aggregate the data, and where this simple aggregation of data doesn't suffice, there this LOD will play a crucial role. You can calculate the average profit margins per customer across various product categories while retaining the individual customer details also. With the help of LOD, you can do some data exploration. You can deliver your data set at different levels, quickly switching between the granular and summarized views without the need to create separate worksheets or the dashboards in that case. In Tableau, the LOD expressions can enhance the ability to analyze and visualize your data with precision regardless of the complexity. By offering a way to control the granularity of your data calculations, they open up new possibilities for the data exploration and provide deeper insights into the data set. We will go to the Tableau screen and see how we can create the LOD expressions. So let's say I want to see the region-wise sales. So for that, what I will do is I will double click on the region and I will double click on the sales values. And I can easily see these region-wise sales. If you want to make it a bit more granular, what you will do is you know that in each region, there are multiple countries that are. So first what I'll do is I will try to select market first, because I know that there are different markets in which these regions lie. So if I just drag this market over here ahead of this region, you can see that there are different markets, and inside of these markets are these different regions. So let's say first I'm starting with the market wise sales this time. So I am seeing the market wise sales. Then I also want to look at different regions. So I will double click on the region, which would then populate the regions over here. Then I want to see what are the different countries present inside this region. So I will double click on this country, and now you can see the region is divided into different countries over. Now, if we are talking about the different states, I can still perform the granular level detail with this particular option, and I can bring up different states present inside a country. And this is how I can see the sales with respect to these markets, regions, and country. But if I talk about the Africa region or the African market, or if I talk about a specific country, you can see this data is now bifurcated into different states. But I don't want to see it on this kind of basis. I just want to see the market wise influence of this data or the region wise influence of this data. But I still want to describe it in brief. I want to see the countries or states that are present inside that. So what I will do is I will create a calculated field for that. To create a calculated field, I will go in the create calculated field option. And in the calculation name, first I will take the fixed option. So I have to make a fixed level of detail option. For that, I can simply type fixed over here. And then it would ask me, what do you want to fix? Before starting this level of detail, what you need to do is you need to provide a curly bracket. After you have provided a curly bracket, you would then understand that it is trying to perform a level of detail because this is a syntax of that particular formula. You can see over here, we have this curly bracket followed by this fixed syntax. Then we have the following dimensions, whichever we want to provide. So I don't need to provide this bracket. So I will exclude this. Now, on what basis do you want to keep the value fixed? So I will say I want to keep it fixed on the basis of the regions. So I will type the region over here, and as it is giving me the suggestion, I will press tab. Now you will put colon. In the region, what is the specific value that you want to fix? So before specifying any kind of value, you have to put that column. So after putting the column, I will say that I want to keep the value of sum of sales as fixed. So I will write the sum of sales over here, and then I will close this curly bracket. Now the value of sum of sales is fixed for this region one. It is still showing me that it contains some errors. So to fix that errors, I will see that what is it is trying to tell me. It is saying that the field or logical table name fixed is already existing because I have already created a value with a name of fixed. So what I'll do is I will change the name to fixed. Now it is showing me this calculation is valid. So this is one of the way in which you can try to fix these common errors. After clicking on apply and OK, you can see this fix tool is created now. So let's try to test it. Let me say that I was taking the region wise sales, but I was taking market first. So what I will do is I will double click on the market, I will double click on the region then, which would then split my market into different regions. And if I want to split the regions into different countries, I can do it. I will double click on the countries and I want to see the sales for it. So I will double click on the sales. Now you can see the sales for different region is showing, but it is showing me the country wise. What if I remove this country? Now it is showing me the sales, which is region wise. So if you don't want to see it, and if you say that I want to see what are the countries that are present in this region, but I don't want to see the sales according to those countries because I have already kept the value of sales fix for these countries in my this particular measure that I have created. How can you use that? Instead of sum of sales, what you do is you will choose this fix to option that you created. You will just drag it in the text. Now you can see the different region wise sales is shown over here because we have kept the value as sales of fixed for it. So now what I'll do is if I drag the country over here now, you can see the value is not changing because it is still showing me the region wise sales value. So this is the way in which you create a fixed level of detail. The next one is the include one. I will go in the sheet 2 and this time I'm choosing the include option. So for that, I will go in the create calculated field option and over here, I will write the values. I'm using the include one instead of the fixed one, and I want it to include the region wise sales. So for that, again, I will choose a region. I will put the colon and I will write sum of sales. After choosing the sum of sales, I will close this. I will click on apply and OK. So this would bring my newly created measure over here. After you have created this newly created measure, what you can do is again, you can take this region wise sales. After checking this region wise sales and convert it into the bar chart. I will swap the values and make this some vertical bar chart type. Now, if you look closely, I have taken the sum of sales over here. If I wish to see the value, I can show the labels over here. The sum of sales for different regions is shown over here. But I have done the same thing in this include part. If I drag this include part over here, and if I try to find the difference between these two values, I can find that there is no difference. Right now, it is showing me the exact value for the sum of sales, which is region wise. And over here also, it is showing the sum of sales region wise. But what would happen if I'm trying to take the average out of it? Let's say instead of the sum, this time I'm trying to find out the average. So over here, I will choose the average function. And now it is showing me still the sum of sales. Over here, the measure is changing to the average, but it is still showing me the sum. So this is the thing that would be happening. Whatever values you have kept in the include option, it would kept that aggregation included. So now if I am trying to change any kind of aggregation also, it would change the name, but it is not trying to change the values that are present inside it. But if in this case where it was showing the sum of sales, the original sum of sales measure, if I am trying to change the measure as the average instead of the sales, so it would be showing me the average out of it. So this is the difference. What happens is if you try to keep the include value and if you are not taking the include value and using the measures directly. Now we'll be talking a bit more about the exclude. What would happen in this case if you have taken the exclude function? So for that, what I will do is I will right click on this include option. I will duplicate it. I will just rename it quickly. And instead of the include, I will write as exclude. In this include option, I will go and edit it. And instead of include in the formula, I will choose the exclude option. I will keep all the values as same as my previous visualizations. Now I will create a new visualization. For that, what I can do is I can duplicate this sheet. After duplicating this sheet, instead of the average of included that I took over here, I will take the value as now instead of the value of include, I will choose the value of exclude over here. For that, I drag this exclude over here in the rows. Now you can see the difference. In the exclude, now it is showing me the attributes. I don't want to see the attributes. I want to see the measure as the sum. After you have chose the sum, it is showing you a different kind of value because it has now excluded that kind of value. So if you are taking the include option, that would basically include any value. And if you are taking the exclude option, it would basically mean that you mean to exclude that particular value. So right now you must be quite familiar about the include option and the exclude option. And we have also taken a look at the fixed option. But if I talk about different level of details, the different level of details can also be found in this date options. So if we talk about this date option, you can see that I can fine tune my data to show a granular level. For instance, if I'm trying to create any line chart, let's say I want to see the different sales that is happening yearly. After changing it into the line chart, I can easily find the sales pattern. If you want to see different levels of details, let's say I don't want to see it in the form of the yearly data, I can easily change it to show me the data in the form of quarter wise or month wise, or even I can change it to show me the weekly or daily data. So this is the way in which you can try to see your data at a different granular level. You can try to filter your data according to different aggregation measures that are present. For instance, you don't want to see the sales sum. Instead of that, you want to see the average of it, or just you want to see the count of it. You can easily do that with the help of these options. So I hope this session was clear to you, and we'll be meeting in the next session where we'll be talking about some different terminologies in Tab. Thank you.